Hi, I'm Vivi.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are
Just Another Knitting Podcast.
Welcome back to our regular viewers, and welcome to anyone who's joining us for the first time, or maybe this is your second episode.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's hoping.
We're just going to crack right in. We've got a lot to talk about this episode, as usual, and we try and keep it moving along. Where do we want to start with what we've just been doing?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a busy day or busy afternoon.
Yeah, so we've just been at Wool Feast, which is the local kind of yarn market in Christchurch. There's like a version of it that happens in different places in New Zealand over the course of a couple of months as winter starts to set in. And so we just had ours today. So it runs all day on a Sunday, and all of the yarn vendors were there, and we had a lovely look around at everything. So if you came and said hello to either or both of us, thank you.
Yes.
Hello. It was really nice to meet some of you in person. And I was wearing, I did a change when I got home, but I was wearing my eagle collar and she shader sweater, because you got to put on your best garment for a wool show. So got lots of
plenty of attention there,
positive comments on that. It's a bit of a showstopper, so yeah,
it certainly attracts some comments.
It's
favourable.
It's magnificent. Yeah. And I'm glad that I just I enjoy just wearing it around, because I think if I'm going to have such a beautiful thing, I don't want it to just sit in the cupboard getting moth-eaten. I want to wear it and make the most of it. And it...
Figuratively speaking, moth-eaten.
Well, yeah, no, not actual, hopefully. It was freezing today, so it was actually really good, because it's only made out of 4-ply yarn, so that normally wouldn't keep me warm enough. It was 5 degrees today, which is like 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
So yeah,
freezing, and snow. There was snow on the top of our hills here.
Yeah, here in Christchurch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's we haven't seen snow here for a wee while, and it doesn't usually snow either. So today was a pretty exceptional kind of day weather-wise.
Yeah, and you were wearing your St. Bridget, so
I was. It was nice and warm. St. Bridget's quite heavy, so it's a good warm jersey.
Yep.
Very necessary.
Anyway, not what we're wearing today, but we just want to say thank you to everyone who said g'day, and it was really... We will talk about a little bit more about Wool Feast, because I do have some purchases.
Yes.
We'll cover that off later, but we want to start with what we're wearing.
Yes, what are you wearing, baby?
Oh, me first.
Yeah, I always go first.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I am wearing the Doppio sweater, which is by Seung Hee Hong. I knitted this because, for the same reason I knitted some of the other ones, and it's because it has that compound raglan in it. So we've had a bit of a theme of looking at these compound raglans. So this is, again, last time I was wearing White Mountains, which has the same sleeve effectively, and it's the same as your bibliophile, but it's kind of more obvious on these bigger yarns.
You can really see
that you can see that it starts here and it goes out rapidly because it's decreasing every row, and then it changes to go down when you go from every row to every other row. And this one is knit in Cecia, one of my favourites, which is Italian yarn. And this one's called randomly New One. They couldn't think of anything else I like. It's our new yarn.
The yellow. The yellow's called New One.
No, the yarn is called New One.
Oh, right.
So it's Cecia, the brand is Cecia, and the yarn type, which is like a bulky yarn, is called New One. Yeah, and the colourway, I don't know, it's got a number, but it's like a mustard yellow.
Yeah.
And super warm and cozy. It's kind of a little bit cropped. There's a bit of it there. But it's reasonably fitted around my body, so it keeps me nice and warm. And it's 100% merino wool, very cozy and warm for a day like this.
And I've got to say, it's the yellow is quite bright.
Yeah, it is quite
was
bright.
Was there any background thought or anything in the yellow, or? I mean, for such a gloomy day.
I like the idea of the sunshine. I do like yellow. People talk about, this colour suits me or that colour doesn't, and I'm not sure that if I did my colours, that yellow would be one of my colours just because of my colouring. But I really like yellow. I feel like it's like wearing sunshine.
So cheery.
Yeah. And so I have a couple of yellow jumpers, and I have some yellow yarn that I would want to knit more yellow things in.
Yeah, I've often thought about a yellow jersey. But,
yeah, you want like a highlighter yellow.
I did. I'm not sure I'll go that way, but yeah.
So what are you wearing?
It's hard to find highlighter yellow.
Yes.
Anyway, what I'm wearing. I am wearing, he says as he's suddenly
Rift.
gone, Rift. Thanks for reminding me. I went blank on that just before as well.
I know this one well.
Yes, so as BB was at Woolfeast today wearing my knits, today I'm wearing one of hers. So
Yay.
This is Rift by Jared Flood. It's knit in Outlaw Yarns Rebel Worsted. It's a nice woolly knit. It's lightweight but warm. It's got some interesting shoulder detail, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's a set-in sleeve, if I remember correct. No.
Yep. You pick up. It's knit bottom up.
Yes, it is a set-in sleeve. I remember it now.
And you knit the sleeves.
That's right.
And then set them in.
That's right, because if I remember rightly, you knit it for me and I seamed it.
Yep. I hate seaming.
So yeah, that's right. I remember now, and it was the second one I've knit, so I had a go at it before. So yeah.
And this is the colourway Crazen, I think, from it's Rebel Worsted. It's just such good yarn. It's like just your basic everyday, wears well, great colours, doesn't pill,
nice and soft and fluffy.
Merino wool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's woolly, fluffy, and soft, but without being overly soft. I think I enjoy it. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing.
And this was an experiment in, sorry, I'm just going to keep going for a
Yeah,
second. In trying to knit 2 different sizes. So you've got Rift in 2 different sizes.
Yes.
And which one do you prefer size-wise? The other one?
Well, yes and no. So the other one I knit in, if we're talking inches, because that's the way my brain works. Sorry, BB. It was a 52 or 50 or something. It started with a 5 anyway, inch chest circumference, and that was a little bit too big. Too much ease around the sides. It's a real comfy jersey to wear, and but it's just a little bit big around the neck, and the arms are a little bit long. So what I'd asked BB to do was knit this as a 48-inch size, and this fits much nicer around the shoulders and the upper body. The only problem with this, and I've said it before, is it's just a little bit short.
I think you think it's short, but I don't think it looks too short.
Yeah, I'm sitting down, so
well, you can't tell when you're sitting down.
You can't tell, no. It's when you stand up and you can kind of see the belt buckle below the...
we could fix it.
We could fix it. I know you can fix it. We could rip out the rib and pick it up and rewrite.
I could also pin block it, and that would help a heap.
Yeah, so potentially, although I think we did block it twice.
Yeah, I never pin blocked it though.
Okay. So yeah, so there are things that we could do.
Like really pin it down and give it a good stretch. I mean, it will bounce back. Yarn does that.
My thought was if we did reknit the rib at the bottom longer, do we have any more of this yarn though?
Yep, we do.
We do? Okay, well maybe that's something that I could actually do.
Yeah, you could.
Is have a go at cutting it out and reknitting the rib the other way. It is bottom up, so it'll be a fun job to pick the stitches up. But
I mean, what you'd want to do actually is probably cut the bottom off, set the ribbing aside, knit some down.
No.
And graft it back, or just
the stitches would be in the wrong place.
Oh, you can't really tell. Cut off the ribbing and knit new ribbing downwards.
Yes, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
I'd start off the live stitches of the stocking
and just knit more. Yeah.
And then make the ribbing longer.
Yeah.
Because I mean the ribbing's not super long to start with, so I could probably add another inch, or should I say another
2.5 centimeters.
2.5 centimeters.
2 or 3 centimeters.
Yeah, that's the one. So anyway,
you probably never will though.
Oh, I might.
Yeah, okay.
No, serious.
Yeah.
If I find that, if you've got the yarn around.
Yeah, I can find it.
If you can find the yarn and I put it in my knitting bag, then that's probably something I'll do.
Nice.
Bit of sweater surgery.
Okay.
Again. Okay, so moving on.
Moving swiftly
finish,
on. Yeah.
Finished objects. I've been delaying because finished
Oh.
objects. Once again.
None.
No, I'm in a transitional phase.
Of life and knitting.
Yeah, between finished objects or no finished objects, and just working on everything.
No, I mean, that's a fairly constant state, I think. Like, finished objects are fleeting, whereas whips are regular. You know, you finish something and then it's finished once and then you move on.
That's true. You do months and months and months for
Of
that
knitting,
one moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, the last couple of weeks is like I've not had a lot of time for knitting, so
Been a busy few weeks.
it has been a busy few weeks. I mean, there's been some important events like Nintendo Switch 2 got released, so
Yeah.
I've got to build a whole new Animal Crossing island, so that takes time.
That's a bit of a deep cup for people who are into Nintendo and Animal Crossing, but we are big fans.
Yes. Anyway, so, knitting hasn't taken a back seat, but it's had to share some of my personal time.
I have a whip. It's one of those, not really a whip. So,
Whip or
FO.
A sock. Here we go.
Each sock is its own little FO.
That's right.
Yeah, so I've been, if you're a regular, you've seen this before. So I've been knitting a pair of socks for my daughter's husband's nana. And this is from, it's called Socks. It's made out of alpaca and nylon. So I've done one sock, that's the yarn. It's a really nice kind of purple, but it's got greens and kind of reddy colours through it. It's absolutely beautiful. The yarn is called Socks.
Yeah, and I can attest.
Alpaca Easy Wash.
It wears pretty well too. I've been wearing my pair around the house quite regularly, and it's not showing any sign of wear. No holes. Yeah, the last one wore through in a week, but that was a different yarn. It's good.
Yep,
Good
so
stuff.
I've been at a conference all weekend until I went to Wool Feast, and so I managed to get from like about here all the way down and get it finished, which was really good, very satisfying. So now I'll cast on sock number 2, probably not today because we're going to lose the light and it's quite hard going. Beautiful yarn, cute little sock. Hopefully Nana will like it. So that's whip number 1. FO number 1. You'll see FO number 2 once I finish the second one.
Yay.
But that's it.
Wow. That's
Between us, that's all we've got.
action packed.
Half a pair of socks is what we've managed.
Fantastic.
But that's because we've got lots of whips, so.
We do have lots of whips.
So do you want to start with yours?
I'll start with some of mine. Mine aren't terribly exciting.
So it's kind of just a parade of things you've seen before if you're a regular.
For me, it is just a parade of things. So I've knit a little bit more on the Bibliophile 3 by Alicia Plummer. I'm at the stage now where I've finished the pattern instructions and I'm just knitting to the required length to meet the schematic of the pattern. So I was just being careful there so as to not lose the stitches off the needles. This is controversial because there are people that are a bit nervous that it's going to be a bit small or a bit short, and I can see why they say that, because I finished the instructions in the pattern and theoretically I should have been at, and I'm going to talk in inches again here because that's the size of the pattern I'm reading, I should have been at 11.5 inches, but I was sitting at about 8.5, which is quite a lot shorter than you would kind of expect. So obviously my row gauge is out, but then I was doing the maths on the pattern and counting the number of rows in the pattern relative to what it says the row gauge should be, and even then I didn't think it was quite lining up. So I am at this point now.
So long story short is that your gauge doesn't meet the pattern gauge.
Row wise it doesn't seem to. So I am, before I go too much further, I'm going to block it. So this is here, it's just sort of
Blob at the moment.
a blob of purple. I'm going to block it. I'm going to see how deep it goes before I separate for sleeves. And I guess the other risk is too, it's going to be interesting because I haven't been doing increases on the raglan for a couple of inches, so what's that, about 4 centimetres, and I'm not really sure what effect that's going to have on the armhole as well, and also the size of the armhole too, because obviously when you pick up, it's going to instruct me to pick up a number of stitches, but because the depth is longer in terms of rows, theoretically I've got more stitches that I would need to pick up in, so I'm not sure how that's going to go yet. But
No, you still have the same number of stitches.
No.
Because you haven't increased the number of stitches.
I've increased the number of rows, so the hole is bigger. There's more stitches around the circumference of the hole. So that's the bit I'm concerned about. So, might just require some clever seaming. I mean, it's the same problem I had with Troutbeck. When I did Troutbeck, I had a tight row gauge, and so I knit more rows, but then when I came to set the sleeves in, the sleeves are still the sleeve size for the pattern.
What I would say is that it'll be less of a problem because it's picked up, not set in.
Yes.
And that the sleeves were quite tight, and so I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like the sleeves, it's not going to have any extra stitches, so it'll pick up fine, and it'll just be wider, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
It'll overcome the problem, and it's the same as I had for the Ola sweater, which I knit by Kate Davies, where I did do an extra few rows under the arm.
Yeah.
And it just helped all together.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will
just puts it further out.
Help.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, further down, which gives you a little bit more sleeve circumference as well.
Yeah. Cool. So anyway, bibliophile 3. So that's work in progress. I do have other works in progress.
Shall I talk about mine first? Because I think it's really interesting, and then we'll come back to your ones. Because
go.
I am also knitting something that I have some concerns about. Row gauge. So here is my Stratified. This was my future plans in the last episode, and I'd done a swatch. So here it is. Yay. Stephen's stomach. I don't know why it's doing that. And yellow, as I mentioned before, because I really like yellow. And anyway, the thing about this, so I should start with what it is. So Stratified is by Tif Neilan, and this is a worsted weight pattern, and it's kind of a basic raglan with stripes, but it also has some like eyelets, and it has other places where you do knitting through the back loop. So there's a row of it here, and I've just done another row down here. And I knew I wasn't going to get gauge. I kind of purposefully went off gauge. So she suggests knitting with a 5mm needle, and I didn't want to knit this yarn, which is Rebel Worsted by Outlaw Yarn. This is stash yarn that I had that I'm using up. I didn't want to knit it on a 5mm needle because it does make quite a loose gauge, so I decided to knit it on a 4.5mm needle. I did a swatch at that gauge and was happy with the fabric, and then the gauge swatch was a little bit it was going to be a little bit small, so I went up a size to accommodate for that, but I didn't really think about row gauge in that. So anyway, the size looks good. What I've done is where do I start? Okay, so I got to where I was supposed to get to sleeve separation, which was here, halfway through this chocolate colour was sleeve separation. But if you see it, that's like mid-chest, nowhere near my armhole, really. I mean, it's about here, and my armhole is down here. So I decided to knit, it tells you you can knit a maximum of 18 stitches for this band to make it, I guess, look nice compared to the other stripes. I don't know why she said that. And then she said separate for sleeves. But what I did is I knitted another, the next pattern, I knitted that one as well. So I knitted probably about 3 or 4 centimetres extra because I had measured against another jumper similar, and I knew what my row gauge needed to be for that, like how many centimetres for that raglan. So I knew that was going to fit okay, probably. I was like, should be all right.
See what happens. Yeah.
Unblocked. And then I got down to, so for the jumper there's a cropped version and a longer version. So it says in the pattern, when you get to the end of that green part that you can see, that mint green, that is where you you start the ribbing for the cropped version.
That's pretty cropped.
I'm just at my underboob. So I'm way off row gauge, obviously. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll give it a block. Because, a few people said, Val and Corrington and others said a mid-project block, very good idea. So I steam blocked it. So Adventurer Knits, Renee, hi, reminded me about the utility of steam blocking. So I've just done that. I just did it like half an hour ago, just to give it a quick block to see how, it feels so nice. I'm really happy with, really drapey, really soft, but just to see how it relaxes. And then I tried it on. So I've actually got it on barber cords so I could try it on. And it fits fine. The row gauge is just way off, but I kind of feel like for a raglan, it doesn't matter. So I did, in fact, knit extra. So from here is where the raglan increasing finished, and that's where I finished my raglan. And I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine. Like when I tried it on, it looked fine. And
yeah, no, it looks
as long
good.
as there's not too many stitches, they end up under your armpit. So it's kind of like they kind of tuck around and it actually look quite nice because the raglans end just at the bottom of your arm. And then what you see around there is the picked up stitches and no raglan increasing. And I think that looks intentional.
Right.
To have that bit tucking in under your arm. Because then you pick up those and it just becomes part of those. Anyway, that's my justification for being way off row gauge.
Right, fair enough.
And I'm probably going to have to knit twice as many repeats as the pattern because I'm way off row gauge.
Going to be very stripy.
Yeah, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, it looks good. I like that colour combination.
Yeah. It's funny because when I knit my swatch, I said to Stephen, that looks like Neapolitan ice cream. And he said, don't say it because then everyone will just think it looks like Neapolitan ice cream.
So you've just said it.
And then I showed it to my daughter and she said, you're knitting a Neapolitan ice cream sweater. I was like, okay, well, it's not just me. It looks like Neapolitan chocolate, a vanilla, and strawberry.
Yeah.
But that makes me happy.
But you've got mint as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the yellow's supposed to be.
Pineapple.
Mustard?
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's just like a candy or an ice cream stripe sweater. I really love it. I think it's very whimsical and it's just my kind of thing. I could definitely see making another one of these. If nothing else, it's given me a good buzz for knitting a variable stripe sweater. I think it's a really great idea for a stash buster. And I guess I'm kind of apprehensive about mixing colours. I find it, I struggle with colour. Like I can't see things in a ball to the finished object.
Yeah,
so
I struggle with that too.
I can't see what it's going to look like,
Yeah.
so I have to knit it. And then I'm like, no, I hate it. Often. So I find it really difficult to imagine colours knit up into a garment, and which makes picking colours really hard. I would say that this is Outlaw Yarn, and Deborah does really well with colours, and her colours are very much a palette of colour. So I think you could literally pick up any of her colours and mix them together and they're going to look fine. Some of them might look like some intentional, like this intentionally looks like a bunch of ice cream, apparently. And others will look like other things, but they generally are tonally
Similar. Yeah, they go together. So they're good.
Yeah, you could pretty much mix and match any of her quite extensive colour range and you'd be fine. So I felt comfortable to be able to do it, and I would definitely do it again in my 20 and 25. This is from my 20 and 25, and I have another. I'm going to knit the flax sweater. Renee from Adventure Knits also knitted one of those and inspired me to knit that. So that's also in my 20 and 25, and I'm going to knit that in Rebel worsted in stripes as well. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Cool.
Like just two coloured stripes. Yeah.
Now I've got to say I do like the variable width stripes and the multicolours. It's a bit different than a uniform, or it's a different look than a uniform stripe.
Bit interesting.
Yeah.
Bit of something different. It's always nice to have something different in your wardrobe. I can see this as being a good weekend pullover. I'm very happy with it, and I'm really glad that I project blogged it. So thank you for those who encouraged me to do that. You know who you are. Last time I talked about it, and it has really helped to just reassure me that it is going to fit. It was mostly the arm depth, because I would have happily ripped back those rows and knit more rows if I needed to make sure it was going to fit nicely under the arm, and it definitely will fit under the arm, so I don't need to do that. I did the right thing to begin with.
Awesome.
Yay. Happy. Very happy with this. Love it. Can't wait to get it finished. It's a good fast knit because it's 4.5mm needles.
Yeah. Only mine were 4.5mm
Back
needles.
to Stephen.
Okay, so...
Not fast knits.
Not fast knits. So moving on to my next work.
But you've done so much.
I've done a little bit more. That's right. I'm Glen-esque by Jade Starmore. So we're making progress on this now. I'm nearly up to sleeve separation. So I've got about another 12 rows to go. If we make it higher, so you can see
I love our new jumper.
So we're getting there. It's definitely, you can see the pattern on it now. You can see the colour variation.
Holy cow.
It's knit in...
It just looks so good.
Alice Starmore's branded Hebridean 2-ply. It's really... really good knit. I've said it's fun knitting. I enjoy knitting it. I'm getting better at memorising the pattern as I go. It's easier to memorise it. We probably should. We're talking about... So this is also coming up to probably a mid-project block.
Yeah, it's our new thing, guys.
I know, right?
Everything gets a mid-project block now.
Yeah, so I'm concerned a little bit about the length, because...
It has to be right.
When I do colour work, my row gauge is short too. So Troutbeck, for example, I did extra rows on that, and even then it's not super long. It's comfortably long, but not super long. So I really want to stretch that out, but then I did try it. I put it on some barbacord and I tried it, and it's quite snug around the middle, which I thought, well,
it will relax though.
That's what I'm hoping. So I measured it, and
the She Shader gave heaps.
Yeah, it's about 4 centimeters smaller in width than what it should be according to the schematic on the pattern.
Okay.
So that translates to about 8 centimeters in circumference, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, it is.
So if we're talking inches, it's like 46 as opposed to 48. Oh, maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm doubling it. Anyway, it should be okay. I do feel it will block. So basically I've given it a good stretch just with the hands, and then remeasured it. So this is unblocked, obviously, and remeasured it, and it's right on gauge. So stitch gauge is fine.
So if you give it a steam block, you might find you're fine.
When it actually gets relaxes, it should relax to the correct size. So I'm all good with that. The other thing I found as I was getting up to the bit where it's just like knit around until you hit sleeve separation was I was 4 stitches short. Which means somewhere in that colour work I missed an increase round.
Also because you're doing increases because it's kind of a little bit
it's got body shaping, yeah. So obviously I've exacerbated
4 stitches is not that much.
It's
less than a centimetre.
No, it's a little bit more. Looking at them,
when you think about you'd probably fit 4 stitches.
It's about
into
2 centimetres.
Yeah,
so okay. I don't think 2 centimetres is going to make a huge difference in the scheme of things. I've since added those stitches back in. It's just obviously around the bottom or around the middle part where it can least afford to be tight. It's going to be a little bit tight.
Rip it out and start again.
Well, and that was the thing, is like, that's not happening. It will be aggressively blocked before
I don't think you'll
do
need.
that.
I don't think you'll need to.
No, I
Because
think
it's
it'll
pretty
be
close.
fine.
And if it doesn't fit you,
Yeah, well, maybe it'll fit you. Yeah.
it'll definitely fit me.
Yeah. So again, I just need to check the length of it.
Yeah, well, that's the
arms.
thing, because if you block it that way, I mean, this is just basic physics,
Yeah, it's
right? It'll, so you just need to compensate by knitting it a little bit longer.
Although the pattern is very specific around which row you're on.
But because it's
when
a repeat, you could probably knit an entire section bigger.
Depending on how short it is,
Yeah.
yeah it's possible.
Because it's looking pretty short at the moment.
So yeah, at the moment, all of
Because
my...
you've got a long body.
Yeah, I do actually. I have a long body and short legs.
Yeah.
So it's...
So you often find things aren't long enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or way too long when it comes to pants.
Yeah, anyway.
So, anyway, we're all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting though. Like, I mean, talk about this a bit, but trying to actually get things to fit your actual own body.
Yeah.
Is half the fun of it.
It is.
Or challenge. Anyway.
Challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a challenge on both of my whips at the moment with regards to size. So I just need to not rush it. I have to do the knitting admin, so to speak, before I can continue.
Yeah, knitting admin. Although that mid-project block took me 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a...
What the heck
that
have I
was a
been
steam
complaining
block,
about?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Because half the thing I didn't want to do is, like, I don't want to submerge it and then have to wait for it to dry. I'm like, it had not occurred to me to steam block it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just not sure that steam blocking it's going to really relax it enough. So
that steam block I just did on the Rebel, it just went. Whew.
Okay.
It made a massive difference.
Yeah, I mean I've done steam blocking and I'm
You should
a fan
at
of
least
it,
give it a
but
try.
I will definitely give it a try before I do anything more drastic.
Yeah.
So
do you want to talk about other whips?
my last and final whip.
Yeah.
Yep, I've
Something.
not finished. Obviously not a finished object. I've done a little bit more.
Yay!
So
you have. Do you want to
I've completed the main body part of the done cuff by Alice Starmore. So again in Alice Starmore's Hebridean 2-ply. It's now got 2 padded rolls.
Look how cool I look. Oh, it's still got a button band to go on it, so it doesn't have to go all the way around.
It doesn't have to go all the way around, so no, it's not too small. But I do have to knit a button band, and then obviously an optional ruffle. So
yeah, I wanted a ruffle.
Did you want a long ruffle or a short ruffle? Because there's options for both.
I don't know. I'll leave it to the design aesthetic. It's good because it goes so like that bit there is the same as the she shader and the eagle, same colours.
So I've mixed the eagle collar and the she shader colours with the Breodag colours.
Yeah, so that one there and that one there are the same.
Pretty much combination of both.
I'm gonna look amazing.
So yeah, there's plenty of options. It's the first one I've knit, obviously. I have said and probably will knit a few of these, just really to try the different colour combinations and see what works best.
All of our friends are going to have cuffs.
Yeah, everybody might have a cuff for Christmas.
I mean,
maybe just one.
Maybe not this Christmas.
No. So anyway, that's what I've also been knitting on.
Oh, I can't wait to be able to wear my Breodag hat, my cuffs, my gloves.
The full kit.
The collar and the jumper. And then you need to knit me some eagle pants.
Eagle pants. Yeah, feathers all the way down the legs. Can you imagine?
Maybe some leg warmers. Anywho.
Yeah. More whips?
Yep, I have other whips. So close. But I've just been too busy. And I really needed to take my time. So this is the Zipper Sweater Light Man by Petite Knit, and this is for my friend Paul. It's knit in Wild Earth Yarn Naturals, and this is the colourway Pebble. I've talked about it a lot if you've watched the show before, but I've pinned in the zip, and I just need to sew in the zip now. So I knit the whole thing. I blocked it, blocked it. And then I did the facing, like the back facing, and sewed the facing in. Stephen's just worried because our iPad has 8% battery.
It's gonna run out.
That's okay. I'll sort that in a sec. Yep. So I've just got to sew the zip in. I just need some quiet time, and I've just had such a busy week and a busy weekend. I just haven't had a chance. So you may not see this again because in a couple of weeks this is going to its recipient. So this might be your last chance to see it. I'm so pleased with it, and the zip I think is going to look so good. Like, it looks a bit ratty now because it's just pinned in, but when it's finished, will look amazing.
Yeah. So we should put a photo up. Take a photo before we send it off.
Well, I'll get a photo of when Paul's wearing it as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So very happy with that whip. I'll do my last whip and then
We might take a slight pause.
well, actually, do you want to just keep talking for a second? I'll sort out the
Sure. Talking.
I'm still here.
Okay. I guess I can talk about some future plans, maybe.
It's only going to take me a sec. So.
Okay, no, that's cool. I went into Outlaw Yarn yesterday. I finally managed to catch up with Deb. So that was good. It'd taken a little bit of effort on my part, I must say.
Okay,
because
I'm back, so we can talk about me. Put that down.
Oh, okay, enough about. Okay.
We did finally go, and Stephen did finally go into Outlaw Yarn, and he has got a treat. I have not seen.
No, she
these
hasn't
yet.
seen the yarn yet.
So I've decided to wait. Deborah did ask me about it today, whether I'd seen them, and I have not. But back to me for a second, because I do have one more whip.
All right.
So I have. This is the reason I wanted to talk about it now is because it's a bit of a short story long, as usual, as per me, as usual.
Yes.
This is Calypso. So Calypso is by Alana from Black Cat Knit Co. She also has a podcast, which we'll put a link in the show notes below, which is in the description. You kind of click on the more below, and you get a whole lot of notes about everything we talk about.
I also, just before you carry on, sorry, Calypso, is that the one that Alana was wearing in our interview with Gudrun?
Yes, it is.
So if you want to see a version, a complete version,
yes.
Our interview episode with Gudrun Johnson, Alana is
and honestly,
wearing
I see so many of these around. So I've been at a conference for the weekend, and one of the women at the conference was wearing the Calypso. She loves Alana's patterns, and I was like, I'm knitting that. It wasn't a knitting conference. Random, but I see them in the wild all the time. There were 2 at Wool Feast this weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've been it's been on my list, and I really wanted to knit it. So there's a few things to say about this. So first is that I'm knitting it in Bohemia Light, which is a discontinued Outlaw yarn. So this is merino possum alpaca yarn, I think, or Polworth possum alpaca. I think it's merino possum alpaca yarn. And it's a sport weight yarn. And I had intended to knit the Vega vest out of this, and so the Vega vest was in my 20 and 25 to be knit in this yarn. Now my rules for my 20 and 25 are that I'm using up my stash, so if I don't want to knit one sweater, I can use the yarn for another sweater. So this is not the intended pattern that I was going to knit, but it still counts because I'm using stash yarn. That's a long way of saying that, but so it's using stash yarn, so it counts as one of my 20 and 25s. So it's a replacement for the Vega vest. And what else can I say about this? Well, the intended gauge for this it's a sport weight, and this is kind of I would say a DK / sport weight because it's quite poofy, but I also know that I've knit a couple of garments with this before, and it knits up better. So I think Alana intends it to be knitted on a 3.75mm needle, but I know this knits better at a 3.25 to a 3.5, and so I've knit it at a 3.5mm gauge.
Right. Did you change your sizing or anything?
Yeah, so I went down a needle size, so from 3.75 to 3.5, and up a gauge size to get, so it'll, same as the Stratified, to still kind of hit about the right size. And like the Stratified, I am finding that my row gauge is quite a bit different. So I should be further down the yoke than I would normally be. And so I'll probably just do the same. I'll just knit around a bit before sleeve separation, get to a yoke depth that I'm happy with before I... what I will do actually is I'll get through the colour work pattern, and then I'm going to do a mid-project block.
Really?
Steam block. It's our new thing. And just make sure that I'm happy with the width of it, and then I can always do another round of increasing if I'm not happy with the width. And if I'm happy with the width, which I think I will be, but it's still not hitting the stitch gauge, the row gauge, then I'll just keep knitting in rounds for a bit until I'm happy with my row gauge before I separate for sleeves. So, and why am I knitting this, you ask?
Yeah, why are you knitting that? I'm sure there's another reason.
Because a group of New Zealand podcasters, led by Strawberry Patches, Marina from Strawberry Patches, invited us to join along in a Kiwi knit along, it's actually a Kiwi make along. A Kiwi MCAL. Oh, there goes our blinds.
In the light.
Time. Excuse us.
It's that time. Guess what time we are?
It's sunset. So the make-along started on June the 1st and runs until August the 31st. So it's designed to be kind of a winter make-along, and it's for any kind of yarn craft. So it might be spinning, weaving, knitting, crochet, whatever yarn craft you want to do. And it's open to anyone, and the rules are needs to be a new cast on, not a whip, and it needs to be either a Kiwi designer or a Kiwi yarn or both. So I've got a Kiwi yarn and a Kiwi designer for my make along. And Stephen and I will sponsor a prize. There's tons of prizes. We haven't kind of collated all the prizes and said what they are yet, but there'll be lots of prizes for the make along. So it's really exciting, and it's a bunch of different people. So I've got a list that I'm reading off so I don't forget anyone. There's Strawberry Patches, Black Cat Knit Co., which is Alana, Broomstitch, Cup of Tea and a Yarn, Unwind and Knit With Me, so it's Lisa, who lives just up the road from us, Rebecca Ann Knits, Handmade in New Zealand, and us obviously as well. So so a whole bunch of us all hosting, I guess, and promoting, and really it's really kind of our ethos is highlighting New Zealand knitters and New Zealand yarn.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've watched any of our episodes, then you'll see where possible, except when I'm doing Starmore packs, really because there's not a lot of other options and we're exploring the yarn. But historically, we've supported the local yarn shops and the yarn suppliers. So Outlaw Yarn, Wild Earth Yarns, who all manufacture and dye local New Zealand yarns. So it's quite important.
We want to support New Zealand people in New Zealand who are part of the wool industry, but also New Zealand small dyers, and like Lisa has a shop. It's really important to us to support the whole industry, all parts of that industry.
Yes.
And I think when we first started knitting, we tried, we both shopped at Spotlight and then realised pretty quickly that we wanted to support New Zealand. So, yeah, so this make along is part of that. And you can find more details about the make along on my Instagram. And obviously we'll put some information in the show notes on this episode. But probably head over to my Instagram to get more information. And my Insta is just my name, BB Fraley. And I've got a link to it in every episode in the show notes as well to my Instagram if you want to follow along there.
Yeah, and the knit-alongs, as you've done the maths on the dates, is 3 months long.
Yeah, so tons of time. Even Stephen might actually have enough time.
I was just going to say, it's probably not enough time.
Maybe you can knit something little.
Maybe
like
something small. Yeah, maybe a Kiwi dishcloth.
With a New Zealand yarn.
Yeah, I could put a wee colourwork kiwi on it, maybe.
Yeah, but it has to be a New Zealand yarn.
Oh, that's easy.
Cotton.
No, okay, a kiwi swatch.
Yeah.
Oh, does that count? Designed by me,
well,
knit in Wild Earth yarn.
It's not going to win you anything, but at least you'll be joining it. No,
participation
prize. Yeah, I'm doing the heavy lifting, guys.
Yeah, BB is definitely doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, but I absolutely love this pattern. Well done, Alana. It's a beautiful pattern. It's designed to be in spin cycle, which is, it changes colour as you knit it. And obviously I've just got 2 tones, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm loving the way this is knitting up. I did knit a swatch, which I've left in the other room, and I accidentally reversed the 2 colours. So I was like, oh my gosh, don't knit late at night. I decided to start knitting a swatch at like 10 p.m. I don't know what I was thinking. I just really wanted to start.
Yeah, it was past knitting curfew.
It was well past knitting curfew, and I shouldn't have done it. But anyway, so I'm really enjoying this. And the Vega vest, I struggled right from the start. I was just like, this is horrible. I hate every second of this. This has been unput-downable. Like, I had to stop myself from knitting it so I could get some more of the Stratified and get that sock finished. All I want to do is knit on this. It's very popcorny, very kind of just one more white row, just one more row.
Yeah.
The way it's put together.
You're in the colourwork zone.
Yeah. I hit that zone that you talk about whether it's just like just nice and repetitive and
and gratifying. You see the patterns emerge.
Yeah, so look at it, it's beautiful. Anyway, so look that up, Calypso. It's a really nice pattern. Yep.
All right, that was a long stint on whips with power problems and blinds and all sorts of things going on.
We fix things on the fly.
We do. Right, what else have we got? Acquisitions.
Yes.
And future plans.
Well, you need to go first.
Mine kind of run together, so my acquisition relates.
Should I go first
to
then?
my future
and
plans.
then you can just roll through.
Sure.
I really want to see that yarn. Okay, hang on.
You might not like it.
I'll get mine done quickly. So I will start with. Here's the thing, Stephen. So we went to Woolfeast and I had a rule. What was the rule?
I was just going to say, I don't recognise that bag. She said, whatever you do, don't let me buy another project bag.
But, in my defence, Emily made it. So our friend Emily, who's been on the show, we've had one guest on the show and it was Emily, is a beautiful maker. She is an exceptional sewist. And she made some of these for Woolfeast. And I really love the design. There's a couple of different companies that make a leather version of this. And I think Lisa from Unwind actually sells the redesign, whatever that is, version of it.
It opens out
Which opens out. And I just love it. So it makes a little like yarn bucket.
So it's like a full square.
Yeah.
It's
How
pretty
cool is
impressive.
that? Yeah, so it would be really good for like small knits. It's just right up my alley, and I just really needed one, and I need to support Emily. How cute is that? I absolutely love it. So Cotton Candy Designs is her company. She doesn't have I don't think she has a web presence. She is on Instagram though, so I'll link that below. So I waited till Stephen left. we
I
were
wondered what was taking you so long.
we were at Woolfeast, and he's like, don't buy any project bags. Like, he's supposed to be keeping me honest. I'm not supposed to get any new project bags. I'm like, no new project bags. And then immediately upon him leaving, I'm like,
I need a project bag.
but I need this one. So, got that.
Well done.
And then while I was at Emily's shop, I got some buttons. So these are cute little, they have a little pattern on them.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah. Because I'm becoming a sewist, so I needed buttons. I'm now developing a button
Well, I need
stash.
some buttons for the done cuff.
Yeah, not these ones. These ones. I've got lots of buttons. And then Emily has been making the metal buttons. So they've got metal backs on them.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see that, but because it'll be a bit
looks...
blurry. Yeah, and they've got the Liberty fabric. So this is, I got 2 different ones. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful buttons. Made with Liberty fabric. And I'm about to make some pants with Liberty. That have pockets lined with the Liberty fabric. So I really love it. And yeah, I mean, these are just stash at the moment, but I can imagine them being on a little blouse or something.
Yeah, they're very cute.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I got those. And then Lisa F, sorry for the rustling. Lisa F Design, so Burnt Hill Yarn Company and Lisa F Design, same person. She sells yarn, she makes yarn and patterns. Her main thing is patterns, but she also makes buttons. And I got some for my Iola sweater the other week, but I really wanted to get some more. So these ones are made of coconut shell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coconut.
So I just really like the idea of sustainability. Like Emily's ones are handmade out of metal and fabric, and these ones are made out of coconut. So great. And then these ones are also coconut. And then she also has bamboo ones, but all these ones are coconut. So I had already had some of these. I just got some more of them. Yeah. So Lisa F Designs, a bunch of buttons, because now I'm starting a button stash.
Oh, you do have I won't say prodigious, but it's growing.
A lovely little stash of buttons.
Yes.
Now that I've become a sewist, I needed to develop a whole new hobby of button collecting.
Indeed.
I'm a grandma. Grandmas have to have a button
box.
Yeah. It had to be done. And then while I was at Lisa F's stall at Woolfeast, sorry for the rustling again, she had this delightful yarn. So this is Touch Yarns. Now, I didn't know anything about Touch Yarns until recently, and it is made in New Zealand, so it's made in the South Island, which is where we are, in Clyde. And this company has been going for like 25 years, so it's a decent brand. And the thing I really love about this, so this is 12-ply yarn, and it's 70% fine kid mohair, 20% merino, and 10% wool binder, which I don't know what that is. I need to look it up. I'm going to
guess that that's the core, maybe?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. But it's a good way of getting mohair without silk in it. Because the silk is really expensive, whereas this is much more affordable yarn. So this is a massive ball of wool, so 100 grams, 210 metres in a 12-ply. So you'd knit it up in a gauge, like a 4.5 or a 5.5 mil needle. This is a decent chunk of yarn, and it was $40 a ball, I think, which is actually a really good price for mohair. Is very, very expensive. So this makes the mohair quite affordable, I think. And I'm keen to knit. What?
Sorry, I'm just wondering what you're going to knit with it.
Well, I'm keen to knit. I haven't checked, but whether I can get gauge on one of the petite knits, the Cumulus or Cloud sweaters. Yeah.
Mohair, all mohair.
All mohair, yeah. I'm sure there's a few. Pearl Foundry, who's a New Zealand designer, she was at the show as well. She has a sweater called, gosh, I wish I could remember. It's a beautiful sweater, which is it's quite got big balloon sleeves and then a plait. I think it's called the plait sweater. A plait down the arms, and I've been wanting to knit that for ages, and I might be able to get knit that in this as well. So I've got some various options to choose from. Ones that you'd hold mohair double or triple is kind of what I'm aiming for. So I don't have anything specific to knit with it, but
Right.
I've got some ideas about what I might knit with it. And I know I'm not supposed to be collecting new stash, and I've got to get through my other stash first. So this will go into my stash, and I'll knit with it when I've knit through.
Knit through the other stash.
But
Yeah.
like one
Haven't
sweater
seen that
quantity of
before.
yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's just my kind of thing.
Poofy and soft.
Yeah, I love mohair. It's so warm, and it's yeah. Anyway, so yay, New Zealand yarn.
Fantastic. Speaking of New Zealand yarn.
Yeah, segue into.
Okay, so I've said before that I was looking to knit Henry VIII in Rebel Light. So I finally got the opportunity to go along and catch up with Deb yesterday. So I've selected a range of colours to start doing some swatches.
Look at these colours.
So-
What colours are they?
so
Is
there's
that
a-
purple?
Yeah, it's a dark purple.
Oh wow.
So there's a kaleidoscope of main colours.
Oh wow.
This
Yeah,
is-
these are definitely her colours, like Alice Starmore colours. You're gonna have to hold on to some.
I will. I'm just pulling them all out at the moment. So basically what BB is holding is the primary colours. Oh, hang on, there's one more. Which will sit or gradient over the top of
Yep.
some background colours, which I will hold the easier for. So in the Starmore pattern, the ones I'm holding are sort of a variety of golds and yellows. So I've moved to sort of a more muted brown palette, but I have sort of got a range. I haven't matched exactly, but I've kind of gone still through the teals, the purples, and the browns just to sort of see how they will line up against the sort of fawns and sort of light browns here. So, yeah, lots of yarn. I've got some swatching ahead of me.
Wow.
I'm not
And
exactly...
do you only need one skein of each?
no, I might need to buy some more, but not much.
Well, you need to get cracking on that because you don't want it to go out the door and then you can't get it.
No, although Deb did offer to perhaps dye some more, but I think that's probably a bridge too far. I don't think...
How much of
I would
each
come up with
colour
some
do you need?
alternatives. Not a lot, to be honest. I actually think one skein of each may actually do it, although once I've knit the swatch, which I really want to do over the next week, and see how it goes together, I'll be able to make some decisions and then maybe just pick up a skein or two extra here and there. So
this is Rebel Light, which is it's 80% merino, 20% half bred, which is a New Zealand specific sheep, which is bred for New Zealand conditions. It's like bred with Leicester or there's a couple of others that they breed it with
Yeah.
merino and other sheep.
So this is the 4-ply version of what I'm
Yeah, of that.
wearing. So
Yeah.
what I'm wearing is Rebel worsted, which is 8-ply equivalent.
And the good thing about these is that 50 gram balls, which means they are good for knitting colour work. Like, yeah, they're not too big. Like 100 grams would be a lot of yarn, so it's quite good that they've got the little 50 grams. So it's 193 meters per skein. Good for colour work.
Yeah, I'm also interested...
And you can see what I was saying before about it being tonally. Deborah is really good about tonally creating a palette of colour that all work together. Like, they all just tonally look so nice together.
Yeah, they do. And also I've got the opportunity, maybe I could mix some of the Rebel Light with some of the Hebridean 2-ply and see how that actually pairs up as well.
This hurts my brain.
So
And we've got tons of other colours that we could actually have a look at as well.
we do. So we do also have a stash of Rebel Light, but
Which
they're
we've
not
been hoarding like dragons.
We have... The reason I have chosen not to use those colours is that most of them are one-offs that we can't repeat. So this is an active palette that...
Although most of them we have 2 skeins of.
Yeah.
So you would have enough.
So I do have plenty of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am hoarding that.
Yeah.
Personally. because I love it so much.
Yeah. So anyway, this is the sort of the colour palette I'm going to knit
So good.
Henry VIII swatches in. And then we'll see, perhaps over the next episode, how that's come out and what I might want to change.
Then you can do a comparison of the Star Wars swatch versus the Rebel swatch.
That's correct. And also I can gauge any size differences as well.
Oh yeah, because this is a little bit chunkier.
It's a little bit poofier, but in general it's about the same weight. So that's why I want to see maybe blending them together or just seeing how a pure swatch comes out in terms of different sizes. So anyway, that's my future intentions and the new thing that you'll probably see from me over the next couple of weeks.
Do I have to put it down now?
You can just put them down, yeah.
I wanted to cuddle them for a bit longer. That's so nice.
So I'm not exactly sure how I'll pair them, but they all kind of run nicely together anyway.
That would make really good Marie Wallen colours as well. Like that, it's definitely her colour palette as well.
Yeah, and that was why I was kind of excited. You know, Deb's got her own dye house now, and she's in full swing with dyeing gradients and things. That was one of the things that Outlaw Yarn, the colours were very set, and they were tonally the same but quite separate. Whereas now, I mean, if you go online and look at her shop, you can
get
see
a whole range of
whole gradients,
or greens,
yeah, or browns or whatever.
Which is for Fair Isle is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have punctuated colours, but also gradients of colour. Yeah,
and it makes such a big difference. So that's why I've been quite excited to try and actually see how it goes together. So fun experiment.
Exciting!
I know. I'm excited.
Are you going to be doing the ball winder's going to get a bit of a?
It will get a little bit of a hammering over the next day. Yeah. Or two.
Yeah. Okay, what have we got left? We've got to get this show on the road. I meant to say before about the MCal. There is a Ravelry page, so Marina is hosting that. She's from Strawberry Patches. So if you jump on Ravelry and have a look on Strawberry Patches Ravelry page, you can have a look at the MCal over there as well. I meant to say that before.
Awesome. Okay, well, I've kind of used up all of my things.
Oh, so we're up to plans.
So what plans have you got left?
Okay, so I feel like I'm going to get through the Stratified pretty quickly because now, it's knitting up pretty fast. So I'm thinking about what next. For me, one of the things happened in the weekend is that I was part of a charity auction. So part of this conference I was at was a charity auction, and I donated a sweater for that. So now somebody has purchased that. I was hoping for a small woman, but it turned out to be a large man.
Yeah,
they were bidding against each other, and I'm like, yes, tiny person,
please win
win this auction. But no, it is not a huge man, but he's probably 6'2" or something.
Oh, crikey.
Holy cow.
There's a bit more knitting involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is fine. So he has a male-bodied... They're actually a they, so they're a male-bodied person. And but I'm really interested in kind of working with them to design something that they want. They weren't sure if they wanted Fair Isle, so I said, go away and think about what colours you want. Maybe you want stripes, or maybe you just want a Fair Isle jumper. It's really up to you what you want to do. So I'm kind of working on that with them, and I'll get in touch with them and think about what to knit, but it'll probably be either a yoked sweater or a raglan sweater, either like a stripes or and I'm quite keen to knit it. If it's colour work, I'll knit it in the 4-ply Rebel, and if it's stripes, I'll do it in worsted Rebel, so it's kind of nice and warm.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so I'll probably get new yarn for that, because it's not part of my 20 and 25. That's just a random extra jumper I'm knitting. And then, so that'll probably take a month or so just to figure out what we're doing before I get started on that. And then in the meantime, the next thing at the top of my list that's a jumper, I've got some accessories, but the next thing that's a jumper is a sweater for my son, which I need to catch up with him because I've got out all the yarn now and I've got it ready to show him. So he needs to pick the yarn, and it's a combination of some Wild Earth or Rebel to choose from. He's got a jumper in Rebel, so I'm keen to try him out on Wild Earth. So
Right.
we'll see how we feel about that. And in different colours, DK weight. So I'm looking for a DK weight sweater. In my 20 and 25, I have put the men's classic Raglan, which is by Jane Richmond, which I've made a couple of now. It's a good, successful sweater, easy knit. But actually, I'm keen to try something different. And so what I had in the back of my mind is the Sticks Season by Rebecca Clow, Creia Bayer, which has one of those, the shoulder is at the back, and it has quite a nice detail of how that works. I don't think
textured.
I don't think my son would like the texture on it.
Right.
I mean, I'll ask him. He does have an all over cable jumper. That was the last thing he requested. Ugh, that seemed mean, but whatever. He didn't know. But I could knit it without the texture, and the texture just looks like a kind of a, what do you call it, seed stitch?
A seed stitch, but stacked 3 high rather than the usual 2.
Yeah, and it's like a half body Guernsey style jumper. So, but you can also knit it as she calls it the stick season, where you don't knit the pattern, which is what I probably prefer, just to make my own life easier. So there's that, or the melange sweater, which is a petite knit, but it's a drop shoulder sweater. So I thought maybe that one, and that's designed to be marled, but I would just knit it plain. It doesn't need to be a marl. And that's also a DK weight. And the thing is with petite knit, the patterns are good. I'm familiar with them. I always get gauge on her patterns. It suits Rebel or Outlaw yarn, the Outlaw yarn or the Wild Earth yarn. Like I know, like I get gauge on them. But spanner in the works. Maxim Sear released a new pattern recently, which is the So Basic DK. So the So Basic sweater, which you have one of.
I do.
Yeah, and it's one of your faves.
It is. It's a real good sweatshirty.
Yeah,
one.
but
and I wear it to work as well.
Yours is knit in the 4-ply.
Yes.
And so now he's released a DK version of that So Basic sweater. And so I might actually be leaning towards that one because I really want to knit it.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested for myself as well, actually.
Yeah, well, if I don't knit it for him, maybe I'd knit it for you, or you could knit it, but I'd be happy to as well. Anyway, so I have options. What isn't in that mix there is a saddle shoulder sweater. So if you know of a good male bodied, like actually designed for men, saddle shoulder sweater, please chuck it in the comments below so I can have a look at it, because I'm quite keen on potentially knitting him a saddle shoulder sweater. I think I have a couple of options, but if you want to help me do the work of finding something, so because that's what the next thing I'll be casting on. Yeah, so that's enough for me.
Awesome.
Blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Well,
blah.
there's plenty of things in your future, and
Yeah, I'm like deep in sweaters, it feels like at the moment.
no, very good. Okay, well, I think that kind of brings us to the end.
Yeah, we've gone a bit long today.
We have gone a bit long,
I
but
had a lot to talk about.
there was a fair bit.
I've been sitting quietly all weekend by myself, not talking to people.
So using up all your words in one go.
I had a lot to say.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much for managing to make it to the end. If you're hearing this,
Yes, thank you for suffering through it all.
yeah, we do appreciate the time that you take out to watch us. We do this for us. We enjoy sharing what we're up to, and we hope you enjoy it too. Please feel free to leave us a comment. We do enjoy, and I guess, we do enjoy reading through them all, responding to them. You've got some really good ideas in there, which we appreciate, and we try and take some of your advice. Can't take everyone's advice because there's such a lot, but it's all good stuff. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
You will indeed. Goodbye.
Ka kite anō.